Well, as you can see behind me, I bought some new books. I even had to buy a new shelf to carry them all. So let's go through the ones that I bought in the last month or so. Hello and welcome. This is Creatively Torn, a channel where I mostly talk about books, but sometimes don't. This is seeming to be a common series now. It's book hauls. Wasn't planning to do book hauls on a regular occasion, but I have been doing them about every month or so for the past several months. Even though I think last month was on one where I did a short instead. But anyways, this is a book haul for the books I bought in the past month, so March, February. There's a fair number on the stack there, like 8 or so. So we'll go through those quickly. I don't think I have a lot to say about most of them, seeing as I haven't read them yet. But we shall see how this goes. Starting things off, we have a book by Stephen King. This is The Stand, obviously one of his best written novels, one of his most well known. I haven't read this yet. I do want to read it sometime this year. Not quite sure when. But I bought this at a little free library a few weeks ago. It's in pretty good condition. It was one printed in the early 90s or late 80s or something. For being that old, it's in fairly good condition. Just some yellow paper is all. But other than that, it's in good condition. I just said that 3 times. So other than that, it looks pretty good. I do want to read this at some point this year, which I just said as well. This is off to a bad start. This is The Stand by Stephen King. I have another Stephen King book here. This is Hearts in Atlantis. This is a series of short stories or novellas, I think. I have not read this one either. Again, I bought this. No, I didn't buy this. I bought this one from the library on their used bookshelf. Again, it's in really good condition. Another paperback that I do plan to read at some point. Maybe this month. Who knows? Not sure when I would get to any of these. Yeah, the first one is Low Men in Yellow Coats, which is a connection to the Dark Tower. So I definitely want to get to this one fairly soon. Next up, I have another one from a little free library haul a few weeks ago. I went around the neighborhood a few weeks ago and looked at a few different of these around town. Picked up a couple books, not a whole lot, but this was one of them. This is The Possessed by Fyodor Dostoevsky, also known as Demons or the Devils, depending on the translation. This one actually sounds really interesting, very political and philosophical, but I think I've heard that this is one of his harder ones to read. Maybe I'm wrong. But it does sound really interesting, so I might be getting to this one sooner rather than later. This is the Constant Garnett translation, which is a pretty popular translation. I think she is one of the first ones to translate the Russian works into English. So I'm not sure if I'm going to read from this edition or not. I likely will, because I have it. Kind of depends on the what other ones I can find when I decide to read it. Also, look at this cover; it's kind of weird, kind of impressionistic art. Not sure how I feel about that. Anyways. This is one that I bought from the used library shelf thing. I saw it one time, and I didn't buy it immediately. I'd heard of the book before. I haven't heard a lot about it, but I had heard that it had existed, and I have seen the movie adaptation of it before. I don't remember much about it, but I did do some looking around afterwards, and it seems like the book is pretty well regarded. It's very dark and depressing. And so I did go back and pick that up later on because it was still there. This is Blindness by Jose Saramago. This is about some kind of phenomenon where everyone goes blind. That's all I remember, really. Yeah, but it won the Nobel Prize for Literature at some point. Yeah, so I'll read that at some point. Next up, I have a couple of new books for a change. Part of a series that I've started to collect. Still haven't finished yet. This is obviously Sun Eater series. This is book 3, Demon in White. Mass paperback edition. I bought this one along with book 4 in the series, Kingdoms of Death. This one is in hardcover. So for Sun Eater, I have the first 3 books in mass market and then the 4th in hardcover. So that's wonderful. But you know, what can you do? I think they had maybe the paperback for this one, not like the same price or something. Maybe like a couple dollars less. Or maybe they didn't have it, I don't remember. But I decided to go with this one instead because it was a really good price for it. And I like hardcovers more than mass paperbacks, as most people do. I do eventually want to buy the entire series in trade. Once they come out, all in trade. But for now, I've got this mismatched collection, which will get me by for a while. So I just have one more book to go that's been released so far. Then I'll be all caught up. I can start reading the actual books. I need to not look inside this book because I don't know what it's about. And it's really tempting. Put that away. This is a lovely video, isn't it? The next one is a book that I don't think I'll ever read unless I get really bored. This was a non-fiction book, which I don't read a whole lot, but it's one I saw at the library, used shelf again, and it's a really good looking book, a nice edition, really good condition as well. And it's about an artist, a painter, that I did a paper on in college for our history class. And so I recognized the name, and I decided to pick it up. This is just called de Kooning, an American Master. So it's about William de Kooning, a abstract expressionist painter from the early 20th century. Is that right? Maybe. I don't remember much about the paper I wrote. Yeah. I was actually hoping that there would be a lot of art in here, and there is some images, but not a whole lot. Okay, I guess there is some. Yeah. Yeah, there is some in there. So that might be a good one to thumb through at some point. Like I said, I'm not sure if I ever will or not. I don't usually read non-fiction a whole lot, and especially not bios or anything like that. But you know, maybe one day I'll get bored of reading fun books and decide to pick this up. Who knows? The next 2 books I don't think I'm gonna keep. I picked these up at little free libraries. Kind of want to trade them in for something better, but I haven't gotten any better ones yet, so I've got them for now. Probably won't keep them. Likely won't read them. The first one is The Hero of Hacksaw Ridge, which is, I guess, basically the true story of Desmond Doss, who was the main character in the movie Hacksaw Ridge, who was an actual figure in World War II. If you want more than that, you'll have to watch the movie or read the book. It's a really interesting story. He seemed like a really interesting figure. But I don't think I'm going to read this book. It's very short. I don't imagine it's going to be a lot different than the movie, although it will be some. Also, this version is really warped and hard to open. So, I don't know. So I'm probably not going to read that. I'll just watch the movie again if I want to experience that again. The other one is a book called We Are Not Ourselves by Matthew Thomas. This sounds a lot like East of Eden, which I'm currently reading. It's about, what's it about? Something about a sweeping multi-generational masterwork about an Irish-American family. This takes place in Queens, so it's very different than California, but it sounds very familiar. I don't know, I've never heard this book before I picked it up, but I don't know if I'll ever want to read it. Like I said, I plan on just trading this in for something else. It doesn't sound all that interesting to me. I don't know. It is a nice looking book. Deckled edges, nice hardcover. It's around 600 pages. Holy crap. So if anyone has read this, feel free to give me some opinions on it. Okay, let's do the last one. Okay, this last one is a classic book. This is... yeah, that's right. This is Robin Hood by someone. The Adventures of Robin Hood by Howard Pyle. I've never read this. Clearly, I actually haven't even seen any of the movies, to be honest, of Robin Hood. I don't know why. It seems okay, I just never have gotten into it. I just picked this up because it's a really nice edition. It's very old. At least I'm pretty sure it's old. It looks old. It doesn't have a date in here anywhere. It's very old. It's got some nice illustrations inside. Deckled edges again. Again, not very long. About 300 pages. I got this from one of the little free libraries again. Mostly because it looked really good. I might read this at some point, I don't know, we'll see. That ends this shit show of a video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I know lastly for this video is a classic novel, book retelling.